What's that?
Breitbart?
No. What did you say?
What are we filming?
We're filming you if you want to be filmed.
Is this for the Daily Mail?
Yeah.
No, this is not for the Daily Mail. We're Abolitionist Rising.
Do you like the Daily Mail?
I don't think so. What is the Daily Mail?
Is that like that's like Ben Shapiro and all them?
Daily Wire.
Daily Wire.
Oh, yeah, Daily Wire.
I'm not a day. I'm not.
It's like using an ectopic pregnancy for reimplants and.
I'm sorry.
I'm not a Daily Wire subscriber. No,
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan. I'm sure they do some stuff that's good, but
Not really.
No, they don't.
they don't do anything good.
No.
Oh well.
Not really.
All right. Well, I'm not a big fan, I guess.
Forgiveness from murder can be found in Jesus Christ alone.
That's
What if
awesome.
you're
Like the Daily Wire wouldn't. Well, a Muslim can be forgiven too. They place their faith in Christ. It's easy.
surprisingly progressive, but I didn't expect you to say that. I still think.
Well, I mean, a Muslim would be converted to Christianity if they place their faith in Christ.
There you go. There you go. I got it.
What?
Okay.
No,
I was waiting.
that's progressive too, right?
No.
No, the idea that Christ will actually like extend His love and His mercy and His grace to anyone.
Isn't that just
Anyone who calls on the name of Jesus, yeah, that's.
anyone who calls on
Yeah,
Jesus
that's-
only?
I think
But that's why it's such a progressive religion,
That's why
because
it's such a
it's
progressive
open to
religion.
everyone.
As long as you convert, right?
What about gay people?
But if you don't convert, why would you want to be part of it?
Why
It's
would
not
you
open.
not want to go to hell?
Hey, we're like a yard away. You don't have to use your toy.
She doesn't have to.
No, I don't have to.
Okay.
It's nice, you know.
It's more
Pay
fun.
money for
If
it.
I say something really crazy and you want to bullhorn me in the face, you can use it. But it's kind of,
Yeah,
it's just kind of weird.
This is pretty crazy.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
It is, as you said, standard Christianity.
No, I think it's just that like
Abortion.
progressiveness. No, but I think progressiveness comes into accepting like people with differences and accepting like
Yeah.
and like having an equal standard for all of them. But like when it's like tentative on like only accepting them if they convert to Christianity, that's
Well-
not like progressiveness. That's just like conform. Like
Well, you would be if you changed yourself. So, like, say Christ says, "No one comes to the Father except through me."
Uh-huh.
The inclusive part that's for everybody, that progressive should be like, "Oh, that's legit." Is that He says, "Those who want to come to the Father can come through me, and I will turn no one away."
What about
So
the babies
that's
that God
that's
kills?
true
Miscarriages?
inclusive.
What
Miscarriage
about that?
babies can go to heaven. That's not a problem.
What about aborted babies?
Aborted babies can go to heaven. That's not a problem.
What about the
So-
woman who miscarriages?
So the thing that we're interested in is the intentional, the plans.
So women who have abortions go to hell?
that choose not. If they anyone who stands before God after death that has sin on them will go to hell, because that's where all sin goes.
And abortion is
But
sin.
there's forgiveness for the sin of abortion. So I've never participated in an abortion.
I should hope
Right.
not.
Well, I mean, guys can participate in abortions.
Can they?
Yeah.
like encouraging it or like trying to
Encouraging, like
Oh,
a
I
guy
see,
could order a pill and make his girlfriend or wife or whatever take it.
Make his girl, and that's
He would be the primary cause of the abortion.
okay. So,
Like, so
what about
if-
the woman? Does the woman go
if
to
a-
hell in that case?
A woman or a guy, for that sin or any other
Okay, so-
sin. Yeah, y'all knew that, right?
What are we filming?
We're filming you if you want to be filmed. Yeah, a man or a woman is going to go to hell, like in the sense of be separated from God, if when they die, they are covered in sin. So Christianity is just simple. Christ is saying, I have made a way for all of you sinful people to be washed clean.
Can I ask a question?
And I extend that to anyone who
Can I ask? So
Yeah.
what I find typically with these arguments is that my main contention is that these arguments are based in a religious belief, and you're saying that because we believe that this is a
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sin, it shouldn't be legal. Do you okay? So I want
Yeah,
you to imagine
I hear
what if
what you're
someone who was
saying.
like Muslim was like, hey, let's ban all pork products, and every single woman in this country had to wear
Yeah.
a hijab because that's their personal belief.
I hear you.
Do
I'm following
you
you.
understand why people feel like you shouldn't
Yeah.
be able to like codify religious belief into law? Because imagine if that happened to you, if this was a majority Muslim country, and they were like, actually, your beliefs are awful. You should all your women should wear a hijab, and you can't eat pork.
Yeah, I'm with
How would you feel with that point?
So don't be surprised, but I'm with you to the point where there are various things like within Christian practice, tradition, or Mosaic law, all that kind of stuff, that I am not an advocate for imposing on the rest of society. The ones
This one,
you don't think that
this one is already imposed on society. So our society already follows thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt, we already follow a certain amount of them. So this one, you can look at it and say like, okay, so all we're trying to say is that the laws against murder that apply to human beings that are born should also apply to human beings that are not yet born, because they're all humans.
Well,
so we actually believe in
something that's not already in law, because
Right.
the law separates.
Yeah, because sometimes the law is wrong, and so it is. You,
No,
so you laugh.
Yeah, absolutely.
You laugh.
No,
so
absolutely
like
right.
in
I agree with
19th
that.
century, like there were a lot of people running around, and they were saying we need to abolish chattel slavery, and they were being told keep your religion to yourself, or they're being told, well, my interpretation of religion is that I'm allowed to have slaves.
No, that's-
And so you have to have this debate and discussion in culture, and
It's almost like religion is used to justify.
Yes, but okay, so here's what I
in this case, religion is being used to say that slavery must be abolished because human beings are made in the image of God, and you can't treat a human being like an animal. And then people said, oh, those humans aren't really fully human.
The Bible says that.
Yeah.
Yes, the Bible says you can't steal people.
Right.
Can I ask your first
just
point that you were saying before we get into this discussion one more time? And you were saying that like we're just kind of like trying to extend what the like
the laws
what-
against
what the
murder
law-
equally to all human beings.
So I want to say like first, it's not that like the U.S. government accepts some of like the biblical teaching in what is law. It's not that like that
Right.
one of the 10 Commandments is thou
No.
shalt not kill. So we have murder as a crime. It's that we value personal liberty, and one part of personal liberty is that you can't like take the life of another person and get away
Yeah.
with it. That's why murder is a crime. So it's not. It's let me finish. So that's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
that like it's a religious contention that we're like conceding and being like, okay, here's another point we're going to agree with. It's a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is though, like I understand you saying like and that's a fair argument that you want to expand what is considered murder.
Yeah, if we're gonna have a thou shalt not murder humans, let's just expand it to all humans.
So I understand you saying that now, and that's an actual argument we can argue on. Like that's like actual grounds we can start. But that's not what your sign says.
Well-
That's not what those signs. This says.
Well, there's a lot of signs
This
out here which.
says forgiveness can be found in Jesus Christ alone. That's a religious basis of the argument.
Yeah, and that's just me sharing my belief that you can have forgiveness for the sin of
okay.
abortion.
I understand that, but like
This isn't a political sign.
It
That's
is.
not a
It's
political sign.
inherently
It's
political.
Why?
Because
No, like so abortion.
you just-
Okay, so this part is like me stating a fact.
political.
A political
Political opinion.
Why is that? So what is abortion? So say I'm just saying in a scientific point, like say I define abortion as the intentional termination of a human being.
Of a pregnancy.
Of a
of a
pregnancy.
pregnancy.
Well, how do you end a pregnancy? You kill the human.
See, the language. So like,
Yeah,
let's
you
talk-
terminate the human.
No, well, let's if we're gonna unpack this, we're gonna go on the basis that like pretty much everything that we deal with in modern life is political. The words that you use are political.
Okay, if that's all you mean, then okay,
Talk about
sure.
political.
It's
I mean,
it's
not-
words.
It's
It's not
okay,
political.
sure.
It's words, so it's political. But I'm saying this may have
The
political
language that-
ramifications because I think it
The
should.
language in which
So
you
it's
But
address
this is a religious.
when we have anything to do with politics,
Thanks.
when this is something that's being like contested in law right now, we're having votes on it genuinely. Of course, it's political. There's no
Sure.
like, it can't not be political.
Yeah, I thought you were saying that like I couldn't. Well, maybe I don't know what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, I understand your argument now, and you're saying like, okay, we're going to expand what the definition of murder is.
Yeah.
That's an actual argument that like everyone can start on, even if people disagree.
Yes.
But when this is the way you present it, this is not like we need to expand what murder is because this is what we believe. This is a religious.
Yeah, this is
basis.
just one sign.
No, but this is a
Well,
religious.
it's all of the ones that went to
It's
the
all the ones
Oval.
over there too. It's
Or wherever they
religious
went.
basis.
Well, no, we
why-
have a gamut if you want to go through
It's a
them.
religious basis from one religion as to why people in general shouldn't be able to do a practice, which
Okay.
is wrong.
Okay.
Wait,
So,
this is, in this country,
no, here, pause.
in this country,
I'll switch signs for you. I'll just get a different sign for you. Here we go. I'll get these two signs for you. We'll just change it up.
Really?
Yeah, because it's okay. I mean, I think these signs are consistent, but
Do you understand what I'm saying?
okay. So you said this one's okay because it's about equal rights for all humans.
Wow.
Is that a slave?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the "Am I not a man and a brother" symbol that was drawn by, I think, originally Josiah Wedgwood in 18th century Britain, late 18th century. That's the "Am I not a man and a brother" symbol, drawn by those cornbread white abolitionists that fought to abolish the slave trade.
I feel
Yes.
like you're trying to make a point of that, like to me specifically.
Well, no, you were kind of mad. Is that a slave? Yes, it's a slave. He's chained up. It's wrong. It's a wrong, evil, wicked, dehumanizing thing. But whenever people stood up for the slaves and said, we need to abolish this practice, you know what people said to them? You don't like slavery? Don't own a slave. How are you to tell me what to do with my property, my plantation, my prerogative?
I understand that,
so
but
that's,
your signs are saying ban abortion. So this is like we're flipping this right now.
equal rights for all humans.
And
You said that we could start with this.
Well, just to be clear, you don't think that this is a political statement?
No, this is. I went to get a. You said this was a religious one.
Yeah, it is.
And so I'm coming at you with this. I do think that like the concept of human rights has to have some kind of metaphysical foundation, whether you have it or not.
I think it needs to be separate from a religious conversation. I think that's the point of contention.
Well, so do y'all believe in human rights or do y'all deny human rights?
Do like the universal human rights?
Yes.
Yes. Huge denial.
So you believe human rights?
I mean, the premise.
Like, hold on. We hold these truths. So we get back to we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator.
Like the universal human rights declaration.
So,
yes, believe it.
So when he said we hold these truths to be self-evident,
I'm not talking about the U.S.
Okay, but he was Jefferson when he wrote that. He's
Jefferson
referring.
also owned slaves.
Sure, he's a bad dude. I'm saying I'm not talking about. I'm not defending Jefferson. When I'm defending, we hold these truths to be self-evident. That's his way of saying we, these people that want to declare our independence from Britain, believe that there's a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that these are endowed
And human beings.
for humans from their Creator. So he says created with and by their Creator. So, and he's not a particularly religious guy.
No, he wasn't.
Right. So deistic Jefferson knows that you can't have something like the right to life that's self-evident and inherent without some kind of metaphysical foundation. So at that time, there was a broader agreement that you could put that in the idea of a creator.
Sure, that's true.
Now,
but now that we're in a modern context, we're in 2023.
well, that was a modern context if you compare it with 100 years before that, or 200 years before that, or
but
2000.
now it's 200 years afterwards.
They were that was the Enlightenment period. So everyone today thinks they're enlightened.
Enlightenment
that
in
was
the context of history, but let's okay. So like at the time, yes, that was a pretty progressive. That was an extremely progressive take at the time.
Incredibly.
And I understand that he had metaphysical constraints, but we no longer have those, and we
He
have
believed
a better.
them.
But we now kind of base our things off the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We're not.
Well,
talking
that's
about
just a document that the UN has, right?
I mean, it's international law.
Okay. So the reason I ask you if you believe in human rights is because you guys seem like you came on the scene saying that you didn't think that a human being in the womb had a right to life.
I think
You called the human being in the womb a pregnancy, like someone would call a chattel slave a chattel.
This is why these conversations just don't work.
No, you have to work hard at realizing, oh snap, I am doing what they did, because there's no denial that dehumanization. No, you're not slave owners.
I think
You're not a slave owner.
I want to take this.
You don't own slaves.
It's not the analogy here,
No.
but it's because we are justifying.
You make the same arguments to justify abortion that they made to justify, but that doesn't make you a slave owner.
Here, I think
You make the same arguments, but you're not a slave owner. I don't think you own any slaves.
Let me point out the inherent difference in those two arguments, because I want to talk about this. When we're talking about the reason why slavery is wrong is because people are entitled to personal liberty. It is not all right for someone to own someone else, because each person should have personal liberty.
Yes.
The reason why mandating people should not be able to end a pregnancy is wrong is then you're encroaching on someone's personal liberty.
But you should call it what it is. It's terminating human.
Terminating a pregnancy. But like, let's
No. You're just. It's a semantic game. Just own it.
It's not a semantic game. It is a game of legal ramifications.
Okay, so when you're pregnant, what does that mean you have inside of you?
A fetus.
Can I finish what I was?
And what is a fetus?
A pre-human. It is not a
It's a pre-human.
Yes, it cannot live
So
outside
not
of the body.
not this. No.
Effectively, if
What are
I'm
y'all's
by
majors?
Science, if I'm a neuroscience, pre-med, biology.
So you know that in
well,
your biological textbooks that there's no such thing as a pre-human.
Yeah, they're called fetuses.
No.
Not humans.
Okay, so a pig goes through a fetal stage, a cow goes through a fetal, a monkey, adult,
There's still a
fetal
fetal
stages.
insect.
But like a dolphin fetus is a what? It's a fetus. It's a dolphin in the fetal stage of development. A human fetus is a human in the fetal stage of development.
So it's a fetus.
It's a human being in the fetal. It's a human fetus. Yes.
So it's a fetus.
Before that, it's a human embryo up to like 9 weeks if you just want to use the definitions that you guys have to test on.
Go back to this
but human beings definitely go through embryological and fetal development.
Yes, they
all
do
of your
before
organs.
They become humans, and they
Not before they become
outside
as
the womb
humans.
As
I'm just.
human
This
being.
isn't a religious conversation. This is a scientific conversation.
Yes, it is, and you're not correct. But this is why
No,
these conversations don't work.
I bet you $1 million that I'm correct.
Okay.
Do you have $1 million?
Well, okay, I'll bet you $1,800 that I'm correct.
Okay.
Do you
sure,
have
I'm sure
$1,800?
we'll
Yes, I do.
get
On you
that.
right now?
Well, I could get it out of an ATM.
I mean, that'd be
Because
nice.
so we can go to your class and we can pick out, or we can go. Where's y'all's library?
We have
a whole
a
bunch of
couple.
them.
Yeah, so we can go get out like a current 2022, 2023 human
gonna say-
embryological
and
textbook, and it's
gonna
gonna.
say a fetus, and he's gonna say, "Oh, it's a human fetus."
No, it's going to say a human being begins its life cycle at the moment of
Begins its
conception
life
following
cycle. So,
fertilization.
like, if we wanna play a semantic
it's
game
not a,
here.
it's not semantic. A human being begins, it undergoes embryological development, fetal development.
We are quite literally playing a semantic game. Adding the adjective
You are
human before
definitely.
fetus does not make it a
It's-
human.
No, you're
It's
taking
still a
away
fetus.
you're taking away the actual description of what it is as a species, human being in the fetal stage of development.
As
so
a
yes,
species.
you are
It is a
playing
human fetus.
semantics.
Human is the adjective.
know what?
You are.
fetus.
You
I'm
really
gonna-
are playing
I'm
semantics.
gonna
I
go ahead
know.
and-
We
I'm
were
gonna-
playing
You're
this
removing
semantic
the
game.
word human from it
I'm
when you know
gonna
you
go ahead
can't.
and say something that may be a little controversial.
It's okay.
I don't think it matters. I honestly.
That's what I think. I think that people
no,
don't
no,
care.
But that's not what it is. That's not what it is. I'm not saying I don't care.
I'm thinking
no,
people know it's a
can I-
human being
please,
that they're
please,
terminating.
please, just let
They
me-
know it's not a pregnancy. They know they end the pregnancy by
Go ahead and
terminating it.
finish.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's
$20
just
less
heavy. Okay.
Go ahead.
Basically, I do take a big personal offense to the fact that you would compare the argument that we're using to the argument for chattel slavery. So I want to address that head on.
Okay.
It's about personal liberty. So like, okay, here's the thing. Like, we don't force people to give up their organs. We don't force people to give up blood to people they don't want to. That's all a personal choice.
I agree.
When it comes to a pregnancy, I think that what people with this argument kind of forget is that like there is always a woman behind the fetus that has to actually house this pregnancy.
The mother.
And
Yes.
use her organs.
Yes.
And her blood.
So
sometimes
mothers
against
have
her will.
children. All children have mothers.
Please, come on. Let me finish, please.
Well, if you make 10
no.
points, it's kind of hard to go back and.
I haven't
answer
made
them
my
all.
point. I'm just kind of like
Okay,
there.
all right.
But what I'm saying
I'll do my best.
is the whole argument for personal liberty is the reason why we believe that people should be able to have an abortion if they want to, because women should not be forced to house a pregnancy that they don't want. That is a government mandate on their bodies that they wouldn't have there.
You said a pregnancy wasn't a child.
And this is what it's going to come down
No.
to.
Housing a pregnancy. What do you mean? You mean a child?
I'm saying it doesn't matter
Okay.
whether or not we use fetus or human being.
Okay.
I don't think that matters, honestly, in this debate.
Like a woman. Okay, so just say it that way. So it's like a mother does not have to care for her child.
That's not what I said.
Okay, well,
That's not what I
Well,
said.
no. Whenever you're pregnant,
think-
you're with child. You know.
I think you're arguing in bad faith now. I
It's
really
not a
think you
semantic
are.
game.
Because
No, I'm
you're
not.
with child.
No,
I think
you
you are.
can't call the human being a pregnancy and then
Okay,
say
well,
that
I
I'm the
believe
one
this is what
playing
she
word
said.
games.
It's a pregnancy, though. It's a pregnancy.
You are pregnant with what?
A fetus.
Okay, so the human fetus in your womb, you're saying that the right to abortion is built on her
Personal liberty.
personal liberty.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so where do we draw the line? So, because I would say this is the right parameters for the argument. You're in the right. I think we're in the right.
I'm so
Common
glad I
ground.
agree. Wow.
Well, no, we're on the common ground to how to argue. So I would say that we all agree that we should curtail people's personal liberties at what point?
Yes. Well, I think that
At some point, right?
Once a baby, like once it is an actual baby, once it's been birthed, once it's no longer a fetus and it's a child.
Well,
like that's alive in the
Even taking the fetus out of it, like like that guy's
No.
personal liberty.
You asked.
Like if he tries to attack that girl,
You asked what the line is.
we stop him.
You asked what the
His
line is.
personal
I'm telling
liberty.
you what the line is. I believe that once it's born, like once it's an actual baby outside of what the mother, like outside of the mother, when it has nothing to do with the mother's
Yeah,
body
born
or her
rights.
life anymore. Yes. At that point, we're protected. This is why we prosecute women who abuse their newborn children. We don't like you would agree with that, right? We prosecute.
oh yeah, they prosecute women who abuse their preborn children if they didn't do it purposely through abortion. Like if they took a lot of meth, because they value the
that's a different
preborn human
discussion.
being, they
It's
think that
if
she
they're
mistreated
planning
them.
on having the baby and they knowingly do things like take
Yeah.
drugs or like they smoke like alcohol.
They
we
should have just
prosecute them
aborted the
too.
baby, and they wouldn't have been in trouble.
Do you want to ban abortion or not?
No, I'm just saying that's the way the logic eats itself.
I don't think it eats itself at all. I think that like what we're talking about is if you were planning on having that child and you knowingly harmed it when it was going to be a fully grown, like a person, like
you can't harm something that's going to be a fully developed person.
If you're going to terminate it, then no. That's
so your valuing is based not on the human that's there, it's on what the person wants. If the person wants to kill them, they can be killed. But if the person doesn't want to kill them, but accidentally hurts them through using meth, then they need to be protected.
No. I think what I'm saying, and I really do feel like you're arguing in bad faith because I feel like you're trying to like reword.
I'm trying to repeat it back to you because that.
I don't think you're trying to repeat it.
Maybe let's just
let me say this.
Yeah.
I think what it is that I think I value a person's autonomy and I value their ability to choose what happens with their body and with their life.
Okay.
I think that when you eliminate...
By person, you just mean like a human?
Any person, yes. Any human.
Well,
yes.
So then I'm with you 100%.
I'm not, but you can't...
Because see, I value that human's...
The thing is that if a...
This human's autonomy.
Sure. But you
violating the bodily autonomy.
Let's show. Can I show this sign?
Yeah.
To the camera? Do you see how the baby is within a woman's stomach? How it needs her to survive?
Two people. People one.
It needs her to survive.
People two.
What I'm saying, and I want to address this personally because you keep trying to reword my conversation. What I'm saying is that because this needs this person who already exists to survive, that its rights should not overrule hers. That is what I'm saying.
So what about the day after they're born when they still need their mother?
What do you mean when they still need?
You said this person needs this person and that's why this person can kill this person.
They are physically capable of living outside of the womb after they have departed.
Okay, so if you take a newborn baby and you put it on the table, how long does it live? If the mother or the father...
That is wrong. And I'm not arguing...
Why is that wrong? They can't live without help?
They can't live.
This baby can't live without help.
I do think you're arguing in bad faith. I'm not.
No. I'm trying to help you out. No. I think any argument that you start to lose, if the only argument you have left is to say, "Oh, this is bad faith," or "This isn't worth having."
If the only argument you have, if your argument is to start arguing in bad faith,
you can bring a bullhorn prepared to yell, or you can prepared to run away, or whatever.
You're using that exact rhetoric against yourself.
He doesn't like.
I just want to say.
Well, no, I'm saying so the reason that I do this, and maybe we're moving way too fast and we're not hearing each other, but when you say, you're saying this person here is inside this person, but you believe in a human, and I said any human, and you said yes, any person, any human is what you said. You say any human, you believe in protecting their autonomy. So your body does fully develop in the womb. Unless you're born early and then you have to have some, but really all of your vital organs are there in incipient stages at 9 weeks. And you just put on mass.
Not at 9 stages.
At 9 weeks, you just put on mass and grow and develop, like they get more complex.
Well, that's not.
But if
you took an infant out at 9 weeks, so I'm just going to use your terminology.
Yeah, they wouldn't live at 9 weeks.
No.
But no, all your organs are not fully developed to where you can live outside of the one place you're able to live.
Yes, the one place.
But your human rights aren't valued on like if you can live in a certain place. Like you don't lose, like if you take a human being and you put them in the bottom of the ocean, they don't lose their rights because they can't live in that environment. This human being can only live in this environment until they're born, and they have to be they got maybe 20 weeks along, and if at 20 weeks they're born early, they have to be in sort of a NICU and helped by lots of born people who are protecting and helping those little human beings.
Right.
But the same human being that's in a NICU at 21 weeks, inside of a womb, 21 weeks, you can kill this one, but you can't kill this one. The difference isn't whether they can live on their own.
I'm not advocating for like third trimesters abortions or anything like that.
Well,
20 semester or not. I'm not saying.
Yeah, 22 weeks is the law in Ohio.
22 weeks.
So you're for banning some abortions in Ohio?
No, I'm not actually.
Oh, well, that's what you just said.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I don't support third trimester abortion.
Well, 22 weeks isn't the third trimester.
What'd you say? 22
weeks isn't the third trimester.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about 22 weeks. You brought that up. I'm just saying I don't support third trimester abortions. You're talking about you're like, I believe that personally, once a fetus could survive.
It's right there at that point. I mean, I don't care about the whole trimester schemes. I'm just saying, like you said, so this isn't 22 weeks. This is a pretty crappy drawing. But like this is meant to be 9 weeks.
Okay.
So that's meant to be 9 weeks.
Well, you know the little classic. What's that?
And it's still formed
Yeah,
this is.
Yeah, the little classic ultrasound of a baby that looks like that. would you think my phone was faking if I just Googled it?
No. Here, I have a, but that's okay.
Like if I just said
no.
9-week fetus.
I understand that. That's not. I do really think that we're getting away from the actual point.
9-week human fetus ultrasound.
I honestly don't think it matters, if I'm being completely honest. Like I know that's like a controversial.
Well, it
thing.
seems to matter until there's yeah. I mean, just.
That's fine. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, look at this drawing and look at that. So I'm just saying, I'm not lying to you about anything. This is whenever you're.
I'm not arguing against the drawing. It's not the drawing.
So this is your standard when you. It's not. Well, this is a photo. That's an ultrasound image.
Okay.
So the standard.
We've seen
the standard image.
It's not about the image.
All right. So that's the standard kind of age whenever abortion's
let's go back to the organ argument.
The organ argument?
You agree that someone shouldn't be forced to donate their organs.
Yes,
blood
because they're organs. It's so my body, my choice. I agree with that. But if there's a body inside your body, that's whenever you have two people.
Oh, okay, so that's a yes to my question. You don't think that you should force someone to donate their organs or their blood against their will?
Yep.
You understand that's what happens in a pregnancy. A woman is donating her own organs and her blood.
A mother is caring for her child in her body. Biologically, her body doesn't have sort of like a moral opposition to the child.
So her body belongs to the fetus?
No. So at conception,
she doesn't have rights to her organs or her blood anymore.
No, so here's what happens. So at conception,
I know what
the sperm and the egg meet.
I know what happens.
About 7 days later, there's implantation.
I know what
That's when the mother and the child meet and they grow, right?
I know what happens.
At that point in time, the mother is caring for her child, biologically speaking, whether she knows she's pregnant or not.
So
it's a natural thing her body will do.
So she should donate her organs and her
She's not donating her organs. She's not giving her. She's actually providing nutrients to her child
from her organs. And
yes,
her
but it's
blood.
not organ donation. It's not like me saying, "Give me your kidney." That's not. That's a faulty analogy.
Well, you're right, because you are a human. But this is why this isn't going to work.
No, just slow down. You can go back and get to it.
So nice.
She's nice. You just can't say when you start to lose your argument like this isn't going to work.
No,
I'm not trying to be.
I didn't think this was going to work coming in.
I didn't think it was. I think that often. I think that it typically happens because even you denying kind of that's like a political statement. I think it's kind of like the basic.
Well, I was just saying this is a clearly Christian forgiveness for murder can be found in Jesus Christ alone. That's not political.
That's convince you that the top part was. But
honestly, I genuinely
not very. I immediately went there. I was like, yeah, abortion murder has.
I don't think whether or not we call it a human being or a baby or a fetus matters. I still kind of the number one thing I end up valuing when it comes to pretty much all things is personal autonomy and personal liberty, and that's why.
Just not for all human beings.
Not for all human beings. I think that I think the existing person when it comes to pregnancy is more valuable than the potential life.
Well, no, it is not a potential life. It's alive by all definitions of alive.
That's a disagreement that we're going to have to stand.
It's not a disagreement that you can get an A and have in a class. It's scientific.
No, that's not true. But
it is alive. The definition of a living thing, it is meeting all of the criteria for being alive.
It's alive.
It's meeting all the criteria for being a member of the human species. It is a human being. So I would say, I'm not even being rude or mean when I say you don't believe in human rights. What you believe in is post-natal rights for humans.
Yes.
But prenatal humans do not have rights. So I'd say
no.
I'd say you can't say I'm for abortion and for human rights at the same time because abortion requires the mistreatment of human beings.
Abortion is a human right, and I will say that I totally believe in postnatal rights. I think that
postnatal rights.
I said postnatal.
Yeah, but prenatal human beings don't have rights.
No.
The rights of life.
What I'm explaining is the reasoning why I still believe in postnatal rights. I still believe someone a woman who is knowingly pregnant and then knowingly uses heroin, she drinks alcohol, she smokes cigarettes constantly, and then has that baby. I do believe we can hold her culpable.
Why?
Because that person has been born at that point. So I believe.
Well, what if she causes the death?
I do believe in postnatal rights.
What if she uses so much heroin that the baby comes out of her onto her?
That's terrible. But I mean, there's I don't know what you want us to do at that point. It's happened. I understand. We still find people culpable for.
See, I think you're an intelligent person, and you see that there's something wrong with the argument.
I don't see anything.
So you think that you can hold someone accountable for if they have a baby in their womb and they knowingly do something like drugs and it
the baby
affects
is
the baby.
born. Yes.
So the baby's born and they're like a crackhead, like a crack baby.
It's terrible.
To be completely on PC about it, like that. So that is wrong.
Yes.
What they did is they abused their baby when their baby was in their womb by getting them hooked on crack.
I agree with you.
And that's wrong. But why is that wrong? Why is it wrong to abuse your baby when they're in the womb?
It's wrong.
Because I'm saying it is. It's wrong to abuse your baby to death.
I'm not
Some
saying,
people try to abort their babies and their babies survive and they come out with like missing digits and stuff.
I'm saying it's wrong because the person is now born. They are born. So I believe in postnatal rights.
So if they survive, it's wrong. But if you kill them,
it's wrong either.
It's right.
Okay, no. So
it's a human right to kill your baby.
Let's separate wrong and the law, because the law is not always on the right side. But if we're talking about
Amen,
law, we're talking,
sister, definitely.
If we're talking about the
Changing the laws, that's what we're trying to do, right?
No, but if we're talking about the law, we have to kind of like think about the full scope of what a law can apply to, because laws don't exist in a vacuum. They exist in all cases, so we have to think about that, right? It is wrong. Unequivocally, when someone is like knowingly pregnant and they're using dangerous substances, I agree with you. But it would be no.
Why?
Why?
Why is it?
Because they could potentially harm a human that will be born.
What if they harm the human to the point that the human's not born? Then all of a sudden it's okay?
It's still wrong.
So it's only wrong if they're not successful?
No. Let me finish. It's still wrong. But I think that like trying to codify it into law to punish it at that point is where we kind of like run into the weeds, because like how far does it go? Like what if someone like is like too strenuous with like exercise and they have
someone is what?
Like what if the argument is that they were too strenuous and they did some like exercise that made it so that they lost their miscarriage? Are we going to prosecute them then? What if they go through like a particularly like stressful situation and then they lose the baby? Do they lose it then? So like okay.
Yeah, that's why I don't have the sign here. That's why I defined it as, oh yeah, I do have it. Murder. This is what I think. For it to be murder, it's got to be with malice aforethought. That's what I think.
For it to be murder.
So a miscarriage. So my wife has had 2 miscarriages. I know it's a bad day. You guys are crazy. I feel like I should go buy you some pants or something. But like,
I have pants.
I know you're Ohio. You got maybe.
I'm not from Ohio.
Well, you go to school here, right?
Unfortunately.
So, I mean, you should know, but...
I do have to I have to separate myself.
I was like really cold out here, and then someone was like, there's not gonna be, I was like, there's no one gonna be out there. And like, no, these are Ohio people, they'll be out there. And then sure enough. But murder with malice aforethought.
Well, I'm solidly from Ohio.
Yeah.
She's got it in her DNA.
I have tights on. I have sun protection.
Anything above 40 is shorts weather.
So the murder with malice aforethought, it precludes miscarriage from the definition, because I understand. So like we've had 2 babies miscarried.
I will tell you, if you see yourself on YouTube, you will not be you will not be cleverly edited to look stupider than you. or you will not be cleverly edited to look different than you. Like, because, and besides, you talk in very long sentences, so it's impossible.
No, they won't.
That's not a bad. I do the same thing. That's not a bad thing. Yeah, I mean, whether we put up 2.5 hour long videos is.
No offense, I hope.
Hey, people have said the same thing about previous evils.
What, like slavery?
And they were wrong. Oh, you know that from history, they were wrong.
Oh God, 2? Hi. Oh yeah, they got the flying.